Have you ever heard of a land where food is cooked underground in a fiery pit and greetings involve touching noses? New Zealand, also known as Aotearoa by its indigenous Maori people, offers a delicious adventure for your taste buds and a fascinating journey into a unique culture. Here in this video, we are going to explore the mouth-watering world of Maori food and uncover the traditions that have shaped this beautiful island nation. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get regular updates. Let's get started. New Zealand food traditions. A lot of the food that Maori people cook comes from their long history. In New Zealand, when Europeans first came, people were not afraid to try new foods and new ways to cook them. The Maori have been able to combine the two types of food into something tasty since then. People used to not cook in the same room where they slept. Because of this, a lot of recipes had to be made outside, underground, or in huts that were built just for cooking. This is still true now. The hangi, or earth oven, is an important part of New Zealand's cooking culture that goes back hundreds of years. People who are having a party with a lot of people often use hangi. A hole in the ground is dug for the earth oven, and hot rocks and water are used to make steam. After the rocks, meat is put on top of them. After that, leaves, straw mats, or even cloth are put over the pit. Food is put back in the oven with soil on top of it to help it cook until it's done. How long it takes to cook varies on how big it is. New Zealand seafood. Because of New Zealand's closeness to the ocean, there is an abundance of seafood available in both private homes and public dining establishments. It is not uncommon to come across what are known as seafood caravans along the shore. These caravans consist of several tiny food trucks or restaurants that provide a wide variety of fresh seafood options, with crayfish being a particularly popular choice. Crayfish are frequently referred to by a variety of names depending on the country in which they appear. For instance, in the United States of America, crayfish are known by a variety of names, including crawfish, crawdads, fiddlers, crawdaddies, and mudbugs. It is common practice to offer pico pico, also known as fern shoots, and seaweed accompanying seafood meals. People in New Zealand consider pico pico to be a symbol of ownness in the Maori culture. The flavor is comparable to that of green beans or asparagus, and it is frequently discovered growing in locations that are wet and shady. It can be consumed raw, or it can be cooked with oil and nuts, and then combined to produce a spread. Both of these options are available. New Zealand food preservation. The New Zealand food culture places a significant emphasis on the preservation of food. Due to this, the practice of fermenting foods, also known as marakai, is quite popular and is considered to be an art form that can be taught. The delicacy known as kanga kapura, which is often referred to as fermented corn or Maori porridge, is quite popular. The combination of European corn and marakai from New Zealand resulted in the creation of this dish. It is prepared by soaking whole corn cobs under running water for a period that can last for several weeks. The corn will eventually sink to the bottom of the storage container, where it will be mashed and transformed into a porridge-like consistency. Although the aroma is intense and has been referred to as rotten corn, kanga kapura is also regarded as a delectable treat that is typically consumed in New Zealand. This fermenting procedure is also utilized by New Zealanders when it comes to crayfish. New Zealand at breakfast. Porridge, cream, and brown sugar are some of the items that are included in breakfast. Other items include leftovers such as bubbles and squeaks. The bubble and squeak meal is a well-known dish that was brought to New Zealand by Europeans and has now been adapted to represent New Zealand culture. The majority of it is made up of potatoes and cabbage or Brussels sprouts that have been cooked. The mixture is made more moist by the addition of water, which results in the formation of a golden crust as it cooks. To be considered a complete breakfast, it is frequently served alongside eggs and bacon. New Zealand at lunch. Both in New Zealand and in Australia, meat pies are considered to be a true culinary masterpiece. They are pies that can be held in one's hand and are filled with a variety of meats, a little bit of sauce, onions, mushrooms, and even cheese and cheese. It is possible to consume them while on the move, which is why lunch is the ideal time to consume a meat pie. The scrumptious pies are considered by people from both Australia and New Zealand to be among the cuisines that are unique to their respective countries. New Zealand at dinner. A significant number of the dishes that are consumed for supper in New Zealand are also taken for breakfast or lunch. This is one of the interesting aspects of the cuisine in New Zealand. Meat pies and bubble and squeak are two examples of those kinds of items. Hangi and roast are typically served at dinner due to the amount of time and effort that is required to prepare them. New Zealand at dessert. Pavlova is the most well-known and traditional dessert in New Zealand, and you may have tried it at some point in your life. There is a crisp, shell-like consistency on the exterior of the dessert that is made with meringue. And then there is a meringue that melts in your tongue as you consume the center of the dish. Fresh berries are typically used to cover it, and whipped cream is typically placed on top of it. Drinks. There are a great number of vineyards and wineries spread across the entirety of New Zealand. The regions of West Auckland, Gisborne, Martinborough and Hawke's Bay on the North Island, as well as Marlborough, Central Otago and Canterbury on the South Island, are widely regarded as the most prestigious. A great number of wineries provide tastings, and some of them even have restaurants that serve exquisite food on the premises. With many wine critics believing that New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is the best in the world, New Zealand Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Bordeaux have obtained international critical acclaim. Bordeaux has also received praise from critics throughout the world. In terms of beer, the types of ladies that are most popular in New Zealand are those that are pale or amber in color. Lion Nathan Breweries and DB Breweries are the two major breweries in the country. Together, they account for 90% of the total sales in the country. There are around 50 microbreweries in addition to these main players. These microbreweries offer a wide selection of beers that are distributed according to region, and they frequently provide tastings and tours. Religion in New Zealand. In New Zealand, there is no official state religion. Yet, Christianity is the predominant religion, and 38% of the population considers themselves to be Christians. In addition, over 8% of the population is linked with other religions, such as Buddhism, Hinduism, and Islam, while nearly 49% of the population does not consider themselves to be a member of any religion. At the time of European arrival in New Zealand, a significant number of Maori people converted to Christianity. However, the traditional Maori religion is still practiced by a few individuals. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a thumbs up and let me know what other topics you'd like to see covered in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.